I expect this to be a shorter segment today because today we're going to be talking about objections to the fine-tuning argument, the teleological argument that we presented yesterday. And as I looked over this and I looked at the more common objections, I just couldn't really find any arguments that were unique or that weren't already addressed in our presentation yesterday. So this might be a shorter segment because I'm just kind of rehash the teleological argument as I go through these objections. So quick recap. Teleological argument has three premises. Premise 1 is that the universe is incredibly finely tuned for life. Premise 2 is that the fine-tuning of the universe is explained by either necessity, chance, or design. Premise 3 is that the fine-tuning of the universe is not a consequence of necessity or chance, and the necessary conclusion from that is that the fine-tuning of the universe is by design. So here are the objections that I was able to find to this. I have 4 of them here. First one is that the universe just exists as it is. So a denial of fine-tuning. This is to say that it's not finely tuned, it just happenstancely how it is, and there's no fine-tuning at all. This is obviously just a flagrant ignorance of the data. Like for instance, we have over 140 known anthropic constants. The gravitational constant, the electromagnetic force constant, the expansion rate of the universe, the distribution of mass in the early universe. These things, the details that we talked through yesterday, these things are so incredibly finely tuned that if they were off by 1 part in a million millions, that life would not be possible at all. That is definitionally finely tuned. So the rebuttal is just an ignoring of reality, really. So I don't have much more to say on that one. It's just silly. Next one is better in my opinion, but also one we addressed yesterday. This is known as the anthropic principle. We exist, so conditions must allow for life. That's how we got here, right? This is the argument is we exist. It's one of 2 arguments, really, depending on how it's framed. It's either just the argument that we exist, therefore obviously we exist in a universe that's finely tuned for life, which isn't really an explanation, or it's we exist as a consequence of the universe that we're in, and therefore our universe looks finely tuned for our life, which I think is a better argument. However, the anthropic principle is a circular reasoning argument. It's saying that we're here, so it had to happen, which is kind of like saying that imagine you survived a firing squad. There were 50 rifles, they all fired at you, and somehow they all miraculously missed, or maybe they hit you, whatever, but you survive. And your survival does demand an explanation. Something had to happen. Somehow you got shot 50 times, missing all vital arteries and organs. Somehow they all missed you. Maybe they weren't aiming for you. Maybe they all had blanks. There needs to be some sort of explanation, right? You couldn't just say, of course I lived. I wouldn't be here otherwise. Right? You can't just say, I happen to be here, therefore of course it worked out, and think that that's an explanation for why. We need an explanation for why all the 50 bullets missed you. Or maybe we can't get one, but clearly the fact that you are still here is not an explanation. So the short version here is that the improbability of life-permitting conditions still requires a cause, an explanation. Simply pointing out that it is this way is not in any way, shape, or form an explanation. And as scientists, we would want to carry out the scientific method and try to find an explanation. Objection 3 is the multiverse.